Alright, call this meeting to order. First thing is to approve and approve August 2023 minutes.
Make a motion, we approve them.
I'll second it. In favor? Thing is, review and approve August 22nd, 2023 warrant.
Read and approved, and
And
forward.
I'll second it. All in favor? And we also have, this is, after Jeffrey's return, this goes to, oh, you probably didn't see it, it goes to Cumberland County, county tax. Yeah, on that.
What a steep interest rate. I did see that.
Next thing is Cumberland County Regional Assessing Abatement. Yeah.
Yeah, I read all through the.
You did?
Yeah,
Alright.
it's all new to me, so I kinda, not really sure it. Obviously, being charged on a place has been brought down on it.
Yeah, yeah. Send those through. Next one.
They burned it 2 days before the deadline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I read that, yeah.
Not quite quick enough to get it to
Yeah.
municipal assessing, but it was on the clock.
Alright. Shoot, is that? And we got CYS's paving of pit entrance at Anderson Road.
Your,
What's that all about?
PYX's representative's on his way.
Okay. Kyle,
Yeah, he texted me, he's like, I'm going to play Pittsburgh, just let him know. Alright.
Mostly a lot of mud's going out on 113, there's a lot of potholes, and they're constantly sweeping and grading and putting in gravel. They decided they wanted to pave it.
Oh, okay.
They wanna put 4 inches of asphalt in there.
So what are they doing, asking permission to?
They just wanted permission to do it because it's a town road.
Oh, yeah.
But the ordinance is kind of required of them technically anyway, so it's probably more of a formality than
Yeah.
you guys do.
I think they also have to coordinate with the road,
I talked with Kyle, and what he wants to do, I have no problem with it.
yeah.
It'd be beneficial to us.
Get rid of a lot of potholes at the end and a lot of water that collects in there.
So really kind of an improvement on it.
Yeah, they're, from what I understand, I haven't walked down the road, but he should be here shortly anyways. But they wanna pave up towards the gate and then up Anderson just a little bit, but not quite to their fuel pump.
Okay.
But basically that big wide open area, they wanna pave so they don't have quite as much mud and shit jacking out onto 113. So, stop some of the wet spots and cut down on that and cut down on dust and road debris getting out into the road and.
I told them they're free to go all the way to my house.
So there's nothing has to be dug up or?
They're gonna put in, I think, a culvert and maybe a drain or something. They're just gonna build a good road bed there.
Okay.
That's essentially what it is.
You can ask him, he should be here shortly, so.
Okay, you get 2 seconds.
we may
There he
have,
is. Go ahead, Kyle. Yeah, it was
Vote
me
you
and
down
what
like 2 weeks.
you guys wanted to do.
You want to go down to me or?
Man of the
Yeah,
hour.
yeah, right.
You guys are going way too fast. So we just wanna pave the entrance to our gate and an apron up Anderson Road, 10, 15 feet or something. If the truck traffic turning towards Hiram chews it up hard and there's a lot of track out. Typically, years past, hasn't been much of a problem, but this year where it's rained every other day,
Yeah,
it's hard, there's a lot of track out, so we just wanna.
yeah, well, if Chris is okay with it, and Don's okay with it, I've got no problem with it. You do.
No, I think they should go all the way to the top, like you said.
Yeah, I mean, everybody would love to do that, I guess. Paving's it's a lot of money just to pave that little bit there.
It's not gonna interfere with any, probably help with the runoff, like you said, right?
Yeah.
It's, yeah.
Yeah, make everything way better.
No, you guys do good work, you do it right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, no, it will help, the percentage, the grade across the intersection there is pretty, it's like minimum to make water run on dirt, but, it's, ideal to make it run on pavement.
Yeah.
There's different percentages that you need for dirt and hot top.
Yeah.
They graded it a couple of times a day and they can't keep up with it.
Oh.
So,
You probably.
Yeah, the truck, the trucks, they get turned so tight to go towards Hiram, they
Yeah.
just, they just
Shoot.
chew the corner.
So it'd be better off in the long run for you than, you don't
Yeah.
have to keep grading it.
Yeah, we grade, it gets graded at least once a day, and, with the weather, it's just pulls dirt out onto the road.
That takes up your equipment time and your man time. Yeah. I got no problem with it.
Go for it, so,
Yeah.
it's,
I'm late.
yeah,
Got
now you can go.
I just sat down, took my boots off, looked at the clock, and had an epiphany, like, oh no.
Now we don't know, you're free to leave if you want, you say.
Perfect.
Yeah, have a good night.
Thank you.
West Baldwin Volunteer Fire Company leave.
Yeah, I think you guys might have chatted about it in the workshop.
Yeah, you had concerns about it.
I wasn't very concerned, I just wanted you guys to see it, and the only thing I wanted to pose was the fact that it was very general compared to the other leases that we have. The other leases are a little bit more specific about what goes on.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing.
Okay.
I'm not a lawyer, but, I think sometimes when rules are a little bit more open-ended, it allows us to do a little bit more. I just didn't want it to go the other way, where we'd be responsible for anything after we're done using the building. Let's say we built the fire station, we no longer need the lease with West Baldwin anymore, or like, are we tied to it, was the only thing that I thought, but I think what it says there is pretty good, and as soon as we accept that, we are in a we can finally call a town meeting and make our department officially municipal. So that's the last step right there.
Okay, all right.
I mentioned to Chris too, that if you wanted to, and I don't know what your thoughts are on it, but reach out to David Laurie with your specific questions.
Yeah, that's true too.
That, you know, it might reassure you one way or
Yeah.
another.
I'm not exactly like too concerned. I actually thought Bob might be a good person to take a look at it, cause I don't know, I feel like he's got a lot of really good legal experience. I don't think there's anything that really is that outstanding, but I just
No,
wanted,
it's,
it seems pretty straight up,
I
right?
think so, yeah.
I agree with you on that,
Yeah.
so. Yeah, so I mean, I don't know, after looking at it a couple of times, I'm happy with it, it sounds good to me. I can't wait to get it done, so that's part of it too.
All right, I'll second.
Sounds good, it is fun.
I am.
I'm almost, one last step, that next step is the easy part, this is the hardest one.
You had just mentioned about the use and subletting and, are you?
Right, that, I guess, so that, you're right, I guess that was the concern, it's not, so this was the question, and I don't think it matters for us, so don't feel remorseful about what you're signing. I guess here's the concern, is that they, sorry, tear it up, throw it on the garbage, we have to, it'll never happen, right? If they went and got a lawyer, right, we asked them, we gave them a letter via the town fire department and the town select board, we asked them to do their, their due diligence legally to organize their deeds so that they can provide us a legal lease. That's what MMA wants.
Yeah.
MMA wants a document that says that we have some sort of agreement with whatever building we're using for the fire department in
Yeah.
order for us to put in an ordinance, right? That's what this whole thing's about. So they were the only building that isn't owned by anybody, really. It's a very general deed that says it's, somebody from 130 years ago or whatever that is long gone. We asked them to get a lawyer to kind of follow the channels to see who is around that still was related to this person that gave them the lease there. And all I ever really heard from the West Baldwin Volunteer Fire Company was, our lawyer says it's good, here's the lease. I don't think that matters to us. I think it might be more their problem, but that was the only part of it where I was like, I have no idea what their lawyer said. They just gave me a lease and said, here it is. Our lawyer says it's good. Okay, sounds good to me,
Right.
right? So I think it should be fun.
Okay, yeah, I think pretty straightforward.
Yeah, we're just renting a building,
Right. There's not-
renting a garage.
Place to store the truck.
For $5.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Pretty good
All
deal.
year. All right.
Should the fire department pay the rent out of the fire department's operating budget?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
Yep.
can you spare it?
I don't know. Like Steve there.
You're gonna break your, isn't it?
I'll take care of it. Appreciate your support.
Okay, WMTW's Channel 8 Scholarship. So we wanna define that more to,
Well, there was, discussion around amending the scholarship to undergraduate studies. So like first 4 years, postgraduate, because we have had some applicants that meet that criteria, that they're postgraduate, students, so that's up to you.
How many people typically apply? Do you know, I mean?
Well,
4 or 5, yeah.
yeah, but last year was my first year
Mhm.
in the position, so I think we had like 5 applicants or so, and what we did was kind of divvied up the scholarships
Well, you
evenly
can
amongst
really
them.
yeah.
It doesn't have to be done that way, I don't think. I think you could choose to award it to one or two applicants after reviewing, their applications and,
Yeah.
supporting letter and,
And they're usually pretty good applicants.
yeah.
I know,
Yep.
Yeah,
at least 3 out of my 4 kids got something.
yeah, I remember seeing a lot of minors.
What brought the subject up? Somebody, maybe that was gonna be, you know, an undergraduate and noticed as a postgraduate?
Well, I think what you all were seeing was that it was also going to people that were continuing on with their education for an extended period of time. And the question was raised, you know, should the scholarships be awarded to people with, for postgraduate degrees, or should it be, just for undergraduate studies?
Yeah, undergraduate, you mean in the first 4 years?
Right, yeah, for like a bachelor program as opposed to
Okay.
master's or doctorate.
That was always my mindset on scholarships. I never really thought about the postgraduate end, you know, I'm sure there are opportunities for them to.
I know of at least one applicant that fell into that, category that was working, you know, on postgraduate stuff. But before, and the only reason why I'm bringing it up now is because we're looking at, historically, the advertisement would go in the shopping guide for September. I think we were actually a little late last year, but in looking at the policy, it appears that it was usually around Labor Day that the ad went in, and when you're working with the shopper's guide, you've got cutoff deadlines, so I didn't wanna push it ahead too many meetings, you know, and then would be later into the fall. So, but if you need
Yeah.
another week to think about it, it's not gonna make a great deal of difference, but it was kind of thrown out at the last meeting, you know, discussed, but, a decision wasn't formally made, so.
Can you remind me of the dollar figure that we allotted for that? Is it 8,000 or something?
Yeah, I have to look, I'm sorry. We had 2 scholarships, we had one that was, for the town, and then we had the Channel 8, but the town scholarship is officially exhausted, that fund is. So that's been expended, but.
Yeah, and you can look at so many different angles to it, you know. I think just because of participation rate one year, I'm thinking my daughter got like $5,000 because of only like 1 or 2 people. And that, you know, that benefited her immensely. So do we cut it off to postgraduates and then one person applies and the undergraduate gets the whole thing? You know, I don't know.
That's a good point.
I don't know, that's why I'm kind of curious, the participation rate in it, you know.
Yep, well, I can just speak to last year, and we had a real good pool of people that, yeah, they were all great students, and.
Yeah.
Well, Baldwin raises great students. I'm not biased, but they do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not one of them.
Yeah, I think that's right, yeah. You must not have had Mary, she would have straightened you out.
Yeah, no, I didn't. Yeah, let's table it again.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
If we got another week, yeah.
Get another week to think on it, and maybe we can get Bob's opinion on it.
Yep, and I can get to you the specifics too,
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
terms of the actual figures, but.
Yeah,
I think
just like
what-
anything that changes year to year,
Right.
you know.
I think how it was explained to me is originally the school awarded the scholarships, and then the select board requested that they take over that piece of it and actually, review the applications and then award the scholarships.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just assume table that one.
Okay. Appeals board for 73 Sam Pond Road property. Yeah, so we might have to make some phone calls to get them activated. For the
we run like a 3-member board, 5-member board?
There's 4 or 5, but it has to be
Yeah, there's
about-
several, and then there's,
Couple
I
alternates,
know of
like,
one
yeah.
alternate for certain, but their appointments are all active. I just don't know, there doesn't seem to be a chair. But do you know if there's a chair for the appeals board, Joe?
No.
So I could just start with maybe Olin Thomas, calling him and,
What they'll probably do is, like that first meeting, they'll probably select a chair.
Yeah.
Because it's been so long since.
So we usually don't have a lot of appeal problems, do we?
no, and the last year we had one where there was, I think it was a garage variance request. And
Yeah.
Lori Downey had approached me on that, to kind of get the ball rolling, but then the gentleman backed out. So, but, you know, didn't go anywhere. So would you like me to make some calls?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's the way to go,
Yeah,
just to keep
that
it
rolling,
in the steps of
give it a
locality,
vision,
I
you be the
suppose.
most experienced.
And, we have that one packet of information, and you have one as well?
Yes,
Did
they do, they sent me one, because I'm supposed to go to all those meetings.
Mhm.
I don't know.
Yeah, so that was sent to Debbie, one for the select board and one for Dawn.
Okay.
So I suppose, there is an electronic copy, but we'll have to somehow make that available to the appeals board.
Yeah.
It says there is or is not.
I do not have an electronic copy that came in the
I
mail,
didn't get it,
yeah.
no.
So maybe the easiest way, would be to scan it and, I don't know the legalities of that, can we just email that to the members of the appeal board?
This whole thing?
I know I wouldn't wanna get it,
But to make several copies of that.
yeah, no, I know, yeah,
Be a
that's
bit too.
pretty good. And that's just from their lawyer, that's
Mhm.
one package.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell us, Lori, we need more copies.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
they
what I
should.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So normally,
Yeah.
Right.
how many around the board, 5?
No, we need
Genius.
about 5,
I
6 more
think,
copies.
I think at least 5,
I'm
yeah.
sure they'll be
I
willing to
think
do it.
5 more copies.
Okay,
You're the one pushing it, so.
Right.
Exactly.
Did a search, they paid $50,000 for that triangle. So they got enough money
Yeah.
to spend.
Yeah. Right.
Last I saw, the house was still on a trailer, is that still the case? Yeah, nobody built up the daylight, or anything, nobody's done nothing.
No, I gave myself work order. They didn't get the thing inspected, and they don't meet the setbacks, and they said they had plenty of room.
I just didn't know what their attitude is, they just went ahead and,
Their attitude is pretty belligerent, to say the least.
Yeah.
For their contractor, I should say, but.
Hi, Bob. Oh, geez, yeah.
helicopter.
Yeah. No, we're just discussing the Board of Appeals when we're down that well.
There you go, good.
We get Robin to start making phone calls, and, we're gonna request more copies of this from the lawyer.
Gary McNeil's crew going.
Yeah, G chairman?
Yeah.
Okay, so where you go? You didn't know.
He is chairman.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I figured it was the old one, but. Okay.
They can always elect somebody else, but the last time we spoke of you as chairman.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I was gonna tell them. Okay, discuss, review proposed Cumberland County General Assistance Contract. I guess there's an update on that, they're willing to pay per hour?
Well, I don't have my notes here with me, I printed it off, the email that I sent out, but remember those questions that we had last time was, are there options? And pretty much what he said was, you got all kinds of options. Some towns, contract for 1 hour a month, which is the minimum, I think is what it said. Or some towns do 4 hours a month. And, in the town office, or you can do what we're doing, you know, it's pretty much.
A remote type of thing.
So the 1 hour is generally the general assistance administrator's on call. And then you pay by the hour.
Pay by the hour, that sounds pretty decent, that one, for that one,
Yeah.
going that way.
Yeah, to me, I mean, you know, even if we do use it before we go over the hour a month, I mean, but even if you use that hour every week, it's still gonna be 65 for another hour, so.
Yeah.
Seems like a bare minimum, and then just get charged for the 65.
There you go. And then, the other thing he said was they're gonna use Barry Jordan as their backup.
Okay.
So we don't need to use him as our backup because we're gonna back up the same guy.
They contacted him.
That's what he said is they've been in contact with him.
Okay.
That's the plan, so. So if we want to, our contract to be for 1 hour a month minimum, I think we can do that. I don't have the email with me right here, but.
That would be even if, you know, we have to take phone calls, I mean.
We would give them a phone number
Yeah.
for people to call.
Seems like an hour isn't very much time to, depends on how many cases you get with it.
Well, that's the minimum. So we got a contract, so a minimum.
Okay, so it can go over,
Yeah.
over an hour,
So,
okay,
if somebody calls and they spend 2 hours with that person, then we're gonna pay for 2 hours.
okay, all right, yeah, I'm just thinking an hour.
No, that's the minimum
Minimum,
amount.
okay, no, that's.
I'm pretty sure that's what it was.
Okay. That sounds nice.
So in other words, if nobody called at all, you're still locked into at least an hour,
An hour, yeah.
$65 a month.
Okay, that's reasonable.
I wish I had the email, you were copied too on it, I don't know if you can find it or not, but just to make sure I've got the details correct.
I wanna say I saw that paper and something she gave me when it came in.
I had it all printed out, and
Yeah.
it came straight from the doctor's office.
I mean, even just to say we go with a bare minimum like that and not, I mean, they're gonna take the cases that need to be taken and then just charge accordingly.
Right, yeah, yeah.
Makes sense.
Sounds reasonable.
Yeah. Yep.
And you know, some of the other towns that are much bigger than we are doing that.
Mhm. Totally makes sense, cause
Yeah.
they're gonna charge you 65, regardless of what they do, why pre-buy,
Right,
you know?
yeah.
Well, the only thing is, we used to have somebody sit here waiting for one to come in.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Much more.
I have heard comment from one of the local, preachers that they've heard from people in their parish that they couldn't make contact with the general assistance people. And I give, well, can you give me examples telling you know?
Yeah.
So I don't know, if it's true or not. The idea is to make it as easy as possible for people to
Yeah.
contact.
Yeah.
Anything else go all right?
Yeah.
Scholarships, relief.
We gave SBC be okay to pave the end of the road.
And maintain it.
Yeah. Yeah. As long as kind of that.
I think it's all the emails, but I think that's what we're looking for.
So this is what, Jim Gailey said, town contracts vary on what they see as the need for their community. Some towns are in for 4 to 6 hours, which is 1 day a week, some are 4 hours a month. Those contracts are providing office hours in town hall, excess and below 65 hours. Towns that don't have a lot of cases have opted for the minimum contract amount of, here we go, $3,600, like North Yarmouth has 2 cases this year so far. This provides no office hours and cases are handled over the phone. The minimum is based on roughly 1 hour, or 1 hour per week, not per month, and anything over is charged at $65 an hour. So the minimum is 1 hour a week.
1 hour a week.
So, yeah, the 36 versus 13, so,
Yep. Yeah, okay.
and then obviously it probably will go above that 36, but
I don't know.
you never know, like,
According to Katie, we didn't have much of anything last year.
Right.
But when I looked at the number of cases, there were, that, Deb had, in Trio, there were a bunch.
Really?
I sent you guys the counts,
Yes, yeah.
and so, it was, I don't know. You have to collect your data and make sense of it.
just never generated into
Yeah.
money for them, basically.
So that's what I'll get back to Jim with is the, 1 hour a week or the $3,600 contract.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good. All set with that, Dale?
Yeah, that's good with me.
Okay. Alrighty. This been a board meeting?
Planning board meeting this Thursday.
This Thursday,
Yep.
7 o'clock right here. Alright. You got anything, Joe?
Nope.
Kathy?
Just wanted to say thank you to the crew for trimming trees along the side of the road near the monument
Yeah.
in town. That really looks better. People can actually park over there where they should rather than on the lawn. It's really great.
Across from the mall on the back now,
Yeah, that's all.
that
nice.
was getting kind of overgrown.
Yeah. They're gonna take care of that little cemetery that's down that road, the old
Out
school
back,
street.
yeah.
Yeah, it's out back. So they'll be taking care of that. Thank you so much. We do have people that come, every year there'll be a family or a couple interested characters and they wanna go and visit the stones, maybe have a picnic or whatever to, commemorate their ancestors, family, whatever.
So it'll be family members
Yeah,
that was there?
yeah, it's a nice little cemetery, there's some beautiful stones in there.
Yes, yeah.
Really cool.
Yeah.
Let's see. Do we have sand without salt? Because some of the stones that are in the front are sunken, they weren't really put in there properly, and there's grass growing up. So I'd like to be able to take them out. Randy Nelson, does our mowing and cleaning, was willing to help me pull all the stones out, lay some fabric down, put in sand, and actually put the stones in at their proper height, because they're like dishing down, and
Yes.
they hold water now. So it's not too cool with the ice factors, right outside the doors, the double doors.
Yeah.
Not good.
Chris is, saying, yeah, is that stuff in the barrel and that salt in it, does it?
The stuff in the bin does,
Right,
but I got all kinds of it.
okay, cool, we'll check that, thank you.
Salt water,
What did I say? I had heard that Spectrum and Consolidated have some money and they're trying to help people in the Sebago, North Baldwin area that were sort of in their heads connected with the wires. So they're looking to assist people in there. Are there people that need assistance for getting any sort of communications? I know it's like a shadow and they don't really get it. I don't know if that's running wires. I have no idea. But they're looking for people to assist.
I haven't heard that, but it's, Spectrum, and who else?
Consolidated,
Oh, interesting.
yeah.
Because Consolidated is my understanding is the parent company of the Fidium system,
Okay,
which is fiber optic.
right, and they did put fiber optics outside the library. I don't know that they did anything with them,
Hmm.
but they spent the day doing stuff.
Well, I mean, all North Baldwin, right?
That's what I'm thinking, so I just wanted to mention, maybe there's some way that we, as the town has been looking towards that, can get connected.
Go over and talk to the
You
people.
get service to the other option? I see.
Well, 5 years ago, I paid Spectrum to bring internet to my house, and they split the cost with me, but it was almost $3,500, it was really
Wow.
expensive.
Yeah.
One of my neighbors wanted to throw in until I paid for it, and then they all got connected to the ones that brought it up.
Yeah.
2 days later, the Spectrum truck was outside all their houses.
I got 3 neighbors sucking off my telephone poles I bought.
Yeah.
Big deal.
Community service deal. Yeah, it would be nice if they were willing to assist with stuff like that. I'm sure there, even in west side of town, there's still places that need to get internet brought up there. So
Yeah.
That's awesome that they're offering that.
Well,
I think down on 107 too.
I don't know what's going on, and that's why I think that last time I mentioned it, was kind of deficient in this area, but I think Cornish, Hiram, Porter, and maybe Parsonsfield have had a group discussion with Spectrum that we didn't get the announcement for because of some reason, I don't know, a bad email address, or maybe it was when Danielle used to be the point of contact. But anyway, we missed the meeting. But I think there's something going on with Spectrum with the various towns about some fill-in
Great,
efforts, and I think, well, I'll see if I can talk to somebody over at,
that might help.
one of the other towns, to see what's going on. I haven't heard of anything that they're looking for someone to help, but, we've got, survey information that was done
Right, I remember
2 years
that.
ago,
Yeah,
maybe,
yeah,
of areas that are underserved,
right,
so.
okay. The only other thing is that we have, our comprehensive plan on, the 23rd, which is this Wednesday at 10 o'clock.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Drainage is working. There was a little bit of dribbling still coming out, so I'm not sure where all the water's coming from. But it looks like there's, I can't really see in because I can't open the doors on the elevator. You put the elevator up to the first floor, open the bottom.
Yeah.
I can't figure out how to get that done. So I'm just looking through a little crack with the flashlight. But I'm not seeing a lot of standing water is the point.
Good.
So that's getting better. So thank you. And that's about it. Thanks.
Mary?
No, I don't have anything, thank you.
Okay. John? I've got one growth permit left, so if you know somebody that wants to build, that's a good time. One left. Right.
Wow.
Chad, you got anything? No. Nope. We gotta discuss too, when we stop having beach patrol down in the beach. Is it Memorial Weekend we usually do? Couple weeks, so, that's what I thought. So Memorial Weekend would be your last weekend.
What do you mean, wait?
Right.
Sorry.
No, no.
It just went right in the way.
Well, you could do it on winter if you wanted. Labor Day weekend. All right. Steve, you got anything else?
I just wanna let you know, me, Christie, and Don went out over there, we're potentially thinking about future construction of a central fire station, staked out kind of what it would look like to put a pad the size that we think it might be, and what the apron would look like, kind of talked to Don about what the setback would have to be, and it's all very doable stuff. If you'd like to go take a peek at it, I'm not gonna make you guys all go outside right now, but, you know, go take a peek, see what you think. It looks very doable, and I think it's something that, you know, we can continue to discuss and hopefully make a financial plan for it coming up sometime soon. I did did have a conversation with, Chief Rob Karen over in Spanish today. That was a really productive conversation just about fire department business, but also the future of building a central station here, potentially housing a rescue unit, like an ambulance here in town, and also sharing, some of their live-in students, which would give us certified or qualified fire personnel in town. And they don't necessarily get paid a salary because they get to live and be boarded. So, it's a great way to have, fire personnel in town that are certified that, you know, you don't have to pay them hourly to stay here 24/7. So, just a thought to keep this conversation open.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a common theme.
Yeah.
Living is the way to get firefighters.
Yep, no.
Yeah, that's how we do it, you know?
So we have to plan the building to hold a rescue.
Yeah, I would say that if you're, you know, it would be wise for us to consolidate our fleet of trucks a little bit, get rid of 2 trucks, because I think everything else, you know, lower our maintenance costs on vehicles, and we'd be able to do everything we have with the 6 trucks that we would have left over. And, you know, we can potentially separate living quarters from the building in order for us to not have to pay an arm and a leg for all the necessary infrastructure and extra trades that you need to live inside of the house where the fire trucks are stored, because there's a lot of rules and regulations associated with that.
Oh, yeah.
If you look at Hollis Fire Department, they have a big garage, and 25 feet away from their building, they have a double wide trailer where everybody lives. And they were able to avoid having to put massive exhaust systems, and they actually were able to get a community burn building where we have privileges to, and everybody else in the community does, to train firefighters in live burns. So yeah, it's excellent. It's worked really well for Hollis, and, I don't see why we can't do something similar.
Yeah.
Go take a peek out there, see if you like it.
Okay. So it'd be a heck of a lot cheaper to
Yeah.
go that route instead of building a whole big building.
Definitely, and I think it can happen a lot sooner. I'm not saying that even actually building a big building is not possible. It is possible. You know, with this lease that you guys signed today, and, you know, if we're able to pass an ordinance that makes us officially a municipal department in town, we will be able to access a lot of granting, outside of just congressional spending, but congressional spending would be one of them, you know, depending on what's going on in politics that year. And that could give us enough money to afford a building, like a proper fire department. But I think we can also just get away with building a garage and getting a trailer out there, you know, I don't think it needs to be that way. So, it's up to the townspeople.
Well, at least it'd be an updated building and.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And a central location, instead of having to take care of 3 different buildings with 3 different sets of problems. And, you know, yeah, I think it would centralize, lower our maintenance costs overall, and save us money in the long run.
Yeah.
That's all.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Good.
Just been doing a lot of ditching, culverts installing, trying to keep mitigating our water issues. I got another number to call about getting the 09 fixed today. I gotta give them a call tomorrow morning. And then, yeah, I think that's about where we're at.
Still working on washouts, huh?
Yeah, well, mitigating, future mitigation. We've been doing a lot of ditching
Winston
and,
Road,
yeah, we've been doing a lot of ditching, and we've bounced around here and there and trying to get the culverts fixed and replace the ones that need to be fixed and whatnot.
What about more paving?
So I've gotta get the measurement down. I think just because of the condition, because of the rain that we've had, I'm gonna put out to overlay Brown Road. So that road got hit really hard this year, and it needs a lot of work, so I just gotta get the measurement finalized and finish putting the bid together, and there'll be a bid packet ready to go.
Okay.
What about Boston Road?
What about it? What do you wanna know?
What's gonna take, I think we have to fix it, don't we? What's it gonna take?
I know.
Contracting.
Realistically, you're gonna probably need to contract it out if
Yeah.
you guys wanna fix it. It still stands as it's closed. We were gonna take, and when I got a minute, we were gonna go down and just fill in the giant hole at the bridge, the stone culvert. It wouldn't make it necessarily passable, but it would make it less dangerous for the ATVs and the Jeeps that are trying to go over it, which there's a whole bunch of them all the time. Just take a little bit of risk out of it per se. It needs a lot of work. It's definitely gonna take a contractor, and
Yeah.
a dozer, and a roller, and whatever else. That's up to you guys. I know the quick quote that I received during, cause I needed a number, was like 60,000
Yeah.
to put it back up. Whether that's a real accurate number, who knows, but that's what I submitted to EMA. So, do I think it would take quite that much? Maybe not, maybe so. It does need a lot of work, it needs a lot of gravel,
Right.
so. If you'd like me to dig further into it, I can, and,
But that number addresses, just the end up, just up in the vicinity of the old Deacon Road, right?
yep, Deacon Road up to Murphy's place, or McNeil's.
Oh, that whole area, $60,000?
I think so. No, I mean, just,
So what does it do for you? What does that do?
what's it do for me?
No, what does it do? What does $60,000 buy?
From what I understood, it would basically be putting the gravel in and laying the material and fixing the road. I assume ditching where it needed to be ditched and,
And it would be a dirt road then?
oh yeah, it'd be.
I mean, the last time I went over that, it was just rock.
That's pretty much what it is.
And so there's no
It's
rock,
a
nothing
lot of
on top
ledge.
of a lot of places. It was
Yeah, it's a lot of ledge.
a lot of ledge that needed to be ground down, it looked like
Yeah.
to me, and smooth.
Right, yeah, yeah, basically you'd just be putting a coat over it
Mm.
and building a dirt road over the top of it. It's not fixing it per se in the way that it should be, or, you know, a permanent fix, but it's a fix.
Yeah.
I think on the planning board, we assumed that there'd be two exits for the campground, and I'm concerned for the safety. You know, if you get fire on one end, you want them to escape the other way.
I think, yeah, I
You know-
remember that too, Joe, yeah, now that you mention it, remember that being brought up.
Just a safety concern.
Yeah.
170 campsites, I forget what it is. A lot of people.
Yeah, to evacuate that, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so you probably want to start looking into it more.
We can put it up and.
Definitely thought about that, what Joe's saying.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely crossed our mind, and,
Yeah.
I mean, it's been a rough road for a while, let's be honest.
It has.
But we can definitely, it's whether you wanna do a fix on it, or a real fix on it, or.
I would say that, yeah, make it good enough for, that campers could be travel it, I know.
I went up to visit Jack Murphy, I don't know, a month ago, maybe. And you know who I saw on Brown Road? Those big ATVs coming down.
Really?
You know,
Oh, side by sides, all
Yeah.
day long,
all day long.
all day.
There must have been a dozen of them when I
Yeah.
was there for 30 minutes.
Really?
Yeah, they come right over from the campground, they go right down Brown Road, the whole length of Brown Road, and then they go right on across the street and go to the Whistle Stop and ride the track.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Did I get them down my end?
Yeah,
I can just like to open down to there.
yeah.
So,
Just a comment.
yeah, oh yeah, they run that road hard.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I know. Yeah, when we've been up there working, we've had days that there's been more side-by-sides, ATVs and dirt bikes than there are vehicles by far.
Oh, yeah.
There's been days that it's probably like a 4-to-1 ratio.
I'm gonna start charging.
And, you know, my
But all
thought is,
move
what
in.
does it do to a road that's, just got a few inches of gravel on it? These guys are stretching along in there.
Oh, they'll peel it right up.
Yeah.
My father's having all kinds of problems with his land out back, he's actually, Dean's actually shutting off the brook area, so they can't come out, because they'll come out and spin up the dooryard.
Oh, gee.
Yeah, they just, you know, I'm not saying everybody's like that, but, you know, I mean, they just group the trails up, you know, they don't even care. So they would, unless you shut them off to that road, they would literally destroy
That's an
it.
ATV trail.
Yeah.
We have it in the pit out back here.
Hmm?
We get them out back in the pit.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And they can somehow find a way out through the woods and end up in the pit and.
Wait till they put a bike and, walking path in.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
All right, you just put concrete posts and trees.
Yeah.
People can walk right through, but I'm gonna drive through the concrete post.
I'm
Job security for Stan.
Strings of barbed wire like the old farmers used to do.
Not too high.
I watched one of them go over a giant rock out back that we had, that I didn't think they could get over, and I was like, okay, that's not gonna stop them.
Anyway, okay.
Chad, Steve, you guys. You are cousins. Steve, you got anything? I'm good. I'm good. Bob, you got anything? Oh. Hey, Robert, you got anything?
Thank you.
Bob? Dale?
Just one quick question, are you part of the comprehensive plan study? Does people that can't be there, is that public information, the results of them studies?
Yes,
Okay, so where would I get something like that, contact you, and maybe
they have a
the
website.
website?
What have they got? Do you remember?
No, I don't.
Who's their head organization? Is that through MMA?
No.
SNDP or,
Yeah.
But I don't think that they've published anything yet, but there's some maps out here,
Yep,
and there's some reports that, Matt Fricker would have, that you could look at.
Yeah, well, that's
There'll
why.
be a public meeting soon. With
Is it
September, October,
yeah.
there's gonna be a public meeting where we're gonna be looking for input from people who feel left
But
out.
it's not the input, well, yeah, I guess I could input, but, you know, I'm just kinda curious.
I'll
As
see if
to
I
the
can-
actual, what people said, rather than
We just
pull it
got
into
that.
one pool. and-
Survey?
Yeah.
Survey did it?
You know, I know you're just completing it now, so,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I'm
I just
curious.
looked at the results tonight,
Ah.
so, you know.
Oh, what you
Don't
expected.
worry about feeling left out, there's plenty of stuff there. You won't be that far behind anybody.
Right.
I'll see if I can, get everything that I've received via email. There's a lot of documents for us to review before the meetings and stuff. I'll see if I can forward them for you. So you can see what
Appreciate that.
we've all seen, yeah.
That's all I got.
All right, that's all I have. Do we have,
I move we adjourn.
wait a second.
So,